Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Straight Talk for Energy Healers. My name is Rainey Aurora. I'm an energy healer. I am also the creator of the healing modality called the Accelerated Release Technique. I personally work with the subconscious. I help people heal their emotional baggage so that they can live the life that they want and deserve to live. I'm also the author of the book, The Energy Healing Bible. That And finally, I am here on a mission. My mission is to help other energy healers like yourselves to be able to fulfill your life's purpose, to live the way I know you are meant to live. That is to help as many as people as possible, to share your gifts, to heal the world, to do those miracles that I know you can do, and to do that all without being broke. Because let's face it, energy healers do not all have the cachet or influence that they really ought to. Because like I said, I know you do miracles. I know, I've seen it myself. And and it is so vital that we are recognized as such. And the only way to do that is to learn how to play the game. It's to learn how to get your name out there and present yourself as the incredible helper that you are, to command the attention and the income that you're worth. So without further ado, I am really delighted to bring you my guest for today. Her name is Linda Melanson. Linda has spent over 20 years learning and practicing in many different healing modalities. So she's a multi-modal specialist. Now practicing as a nutrition consultant, Neuro Linguistic Programmer, past life regressionist, and health coach. She is passionate about learning and growing herself, and she loves passing that on to all of her clients. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Linda. Hi, Linda. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I think this is fantastic. Great platform you're creating here.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to have you. And this is cool. We got the last day of 2021, bringing in the new year.
Oh my goodness, I was so excited for this show. Actually, I had a podcast on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this
Oh my
week.
goodness.
I know,
That's
I was like coming out with a bang.
That's brilliant. Okay, so as you know, this is Straight Talk for Energy Healers. This is not about wasting a whole lot of time on bump. We're just going to dive right in. So, in a nutshell, how would you describe what it is you do?
So what I do is I help facilitate people doing inner child work. I do actually two healing things that I focus on. So the inner child work is I created a 3-level course last in January of this year. And I have been facilitating people through the inner child healing process, which has been incredibly transformational for all of the clients that have gone on to this program. And I'm very proud of it and very, I learn something new every time I do it with somebody. I think that that's just how healing works, right? If
Yeah.
you feel like I heal every time I help somebody else get to the bottom of their healing. So that's been an amazing journey this year. The other thing that I really got going on this year was I realized that I had a parasite this year, and I started healing this for myself. And now I have created a place where people can come and get knowledge on all types. So eating well, cleaning your liver, lungs, kidneys, skin, parasites, and all of that. So that's been my journey
Really neat.
in the last year. Although I spent a long time studying all kinds of stuff to get to this point, I'm super happy to finally be going into 22 with a solid focus where I know that I have a lot to offer people. So
That's brilliant. Okay, so what is your special gift? I call it your superpower that makes you amazing at what you do.
So, you know what? I was always coined one of those kids growing up, like, "Oh, you're so sensitive." And emotions have always been a huge part of my life that's driven me very deeply.
Mhm.
And so for me, emotional balance was a real journey. It was really something that took me a long time to really get to the bottom of. And it wasn't until, when we have these huge catastrophes in
Mhm.
our lives, this is when, we really get to see the type of tools that we're working with inside of ourselves, right? We really get to see, what are your coping tools? What do you have to
Okay.
deal with these deep, dark places that these events and traumas can bring you? And when my dad passed away in 2000, the end of 2015,
Mhm.
it really showed me that I had a lot of work to do, despite all of the work that I had done on myself up to that point.
Right.
My emotions were just so unruly. I couldn't process. I couldn't understand why I was feeling anxious for so long. It was like, I'd had anxiety bouts before, but they were lasting like days at a time of this like
Mhm.
burning anxiety inside.
Yeah.
So then I started going on a journey, and I mean, I had done all kinds of inner child work. I'd done all of this other stuff. Um, but once I started, I actually developed a set of runes. If you can see beside me right here, this is, oh, here, I can put it closer. These
Ooh.
are angel runes, right?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I started reading them for people online. I developed them a long time ago. They sat on a shelf. Finally, it dawned on me like I should do this, right, for people. And I started reading them online. And one of the things that kept coming up, like it was like the core foundations of coping was coming up.
Oh,
And what was
yeah.
showing up in that was forgiveness, which is number one in healing anything.
Anything.
Um, Boundaries,
So, yep,
learning your boundaries through understanding what your emotions are trying to tell you.
yep. Mhm.
And so once I started to really look at that, and then I took neuro linguistic programming, and then I implemented a bunch of that other information in with the forgiveness and boundaries and all of that stuff. And all of a sudden, I was getting much more in depth of what my emotions were saying, not
Mhm.
what my mind's interpretation of the emotion was. What is the emotion saying?
Yes.
And once I really stepped into that journey for myself, it was like the whole world became my oyster, because then the more that I looked into my emotions, I was brought back to different incidences in my timelines where, sometimes it's past life, sometimes it's inner child, sometimes it's not even connected to what's happened on this planet. But the information that my mind can connect to through these
Mhm.
visions, and the higher thinking and the different perspectives that it allowed me to have was what allowed me to develop an emotional release kind of program.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay, so my audience is energy healers.
Mhm.
Why might they need the service that you are offering? And specifically, why would they want to work with you?
So what I noticed in my own business is, and I've been in business for a long time. I started my first business. I was 25 years old. I was like, I'm changing the world, right? um, and I started doing nutrition counseling back then.
Mhm.
Um, One thing that I struggled with a lot, and because I'm such a sensitive person, I take on so much from other people, and I'm
Mhm.
processing so much information from other people while I'm healing, that sometimes my emotions would go down, and it was hard to get back up and do the tasks that were necessary to bring me to that next level, to bring me to that next place in my business. And so the thing is when things take you down, sometimes you can really get distracted from, the everyday tasks that need to get done. And the
Yeah.
sooner you get yourself back in alignment, where your mind and your emotions are together, working together,
Yes.
the faster and more productive you can be in your business.
Okay. Um, Now you mentioned to me that you have something special to offer my audience. Do you want to tell us about it?
Sure. So, what I am offering right now is 30 days of clean eating. And the other thing about clean eating that I love so much is the emotional balance that can come with it too. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
even, you get these
You
highs
get your
and lows.
hormones in balance. You get your yeah, when everything's in balance, then you feel better. You can handle the world better. Yeah, absolutely.
In the mind, the more you eat alive, the more alive you feel, the more it's easier to connect to those higher frequencies and those higher
Mhm.
ways of thinking. And the easier it is to bring that forward in the world. So it's a 30-day clean eating challenge. So the first 15 days, we're all learning about different foods that we're removing out of our diet, why we're removing it. The next 15 days is about foods we're bringing in and why we're bringing it
Okay. Actually, I'm gonna ask you a little bit more about that one because I've been thinking about this for a little bit. Veganism. Like is clean eating like going completely plant-based or because there's so much
There's a wide
oh,
variety.
yeah. Like
And
some people will say keto, like that's the best way to eat, and then you've got veganism, and then you've got paleo, and then you've got I don't know. There's just
yeah,
it's hard to keep track.
it is hard to keep track of all the different types of dietary, but I'm more of a chemistry-based person.
Okay,
And I don't know if you've ever heard of Eat Right for Your Blood Type. I'm sure
I
you
have
have.
heard of that. Mhm.
That's right. So to me, eating right for your blood type makes way more sense. And so the way that I've developed the 30 days of clean eating, it engulfs all the different blood types. And,
Mhm.
the cleansing process for each blood type is very similar,
Okay,
right? So you are leaning more on a vegetable based diet. Um,
that could be a given for all of them.
It is. There's no way to get around it.
Yeah.
Um, O blood types, you tend to need a little bit more protein. So if you want to lean on more vegetable proteins, by clean proteins like freshwater fish, organically grown chickens, that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
leaning on that a little more, even organically grown beef, because O's still need to have that red meat. They have a hard time processing B12 just from fish and um,
Hmm,
fish and from chicken. There's no, the B12 needs to come straight from the red meat for O blood types.
really?
So that's why a lot of times we have issues if we decide to become a vegetarian or vegan as an O blood type. You can get yourself into a pretty pickle because the B12 is such an important nutrient for your nerve endings.
Okay. You and I might wanna have we'll talk about this a little more afterwards,
Sure.
and if anyone else wants to talk to you more about it, then I'm hoping to get after the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then how would
Absolutely.
they reach you? How to reach you? Yeah.
So you know what? Like I say, I work on Facebook every day. I'm on there and I do ads and I'm creating all different kinds of content and all of that. You can find me, message me, private message me. You can find me on the Awakened Being page. That's mine. The Virtual Health Foods and Supplement page is also mine. And I also have a dream interpretation page. I also wrote a book on how to interpret your own dreams. Very important.
Very cool. Okay. So your contact information is currently in uh the the description, of course, the description for this show. Sorry, end of the year now. I'm
I know.
it's like I'm done. It's Friday. No, that's a terrible excuse. Um,
The happy dance. Do, do,
it's
do.
all right. So yes, if you want to reach Linda, contact information is in, like I said, in the description. And if you want to reach me, you can get to me on info@acceleratedreleasetechnique.org or just, peruse the website acceleratedrelease.org or acceleratedreleasetechnique.org. Oh my God, maybe there's something going on. In any case, if you're enjoying the show, then please like, share, subscribe, all those good things, and of course, come back and visit me again next week. So until then, a very happy New Year to you.